Hi, my name is Thembalethu Mfebe. I'm part of the MultiChoice Talent Factory alumni. I was born in Welkom. I'm a producer, director, and all-round filmmaker. And I'm seated here next to the legendary.
Yeah, Zeno Petersen.
Dun, dun, dun.
My name is Zeno Petersen, and I am a director, cinematographer, working in the industry. And just like him, I'm a filmmaker.
Yeah, and this is Conversations with a Mentor.
The MultiChoice Talent Factory, okay, is celebrating a decade of talent development. Your journey obviously started over here. How was your experience, and why is it important to have immersive film programs like this in the country?
Great question. For me, I wouldn't lie. The MultiChoice Talent Factory program was life-changing for me, you know. There's always that little gap from school to the real world that universities don't usually give, and I'm very thankful for the education I got. I come from the University of Cape Town. I got my honors from there. But bringing it to the real world and giving you skills that will make you employable, it's one of the greatest gifts that the factory has given me. And by design, it's supposed to be an accelerator course, right? Yeah. Incubating them. And for me, my dream was always to be a part of this. So when MultiChoice came through and they were looking for the best students around the country to put them in this accelerator course where you get mentorship and get the opportunity to get your first film credits, I was like, it's a no-brainer. It's something I really want to do. And I'm very thankful for it because I was actually part of the first year, like 10 years ago. And now it's 10 years after, and that's how old my career is. And I have to credit it all to this. And I remember as an intern, even in my year, I was placed on 2 different productions where you were. Yeah. And I was like your intern in the camera department. And it was really special to me because I had always had like a love for camera, right? Cinematography, composition. But you actually taught me how to see light and how to paint with light. And those lessons stayed with me for the rest of my career. And I'm also very honored and very happy that I'm paired with you today because I'm like,
no, me too.
I hope you know how much you impacted me in my career, you know. And the Academy allowing us to see people like Zeno's, your John Barkers, sitting with your Angus's and your Patus and learning from the industry giants, and also upskilling your technical skills so that at the end of the year we produce Zanzi films. I got my first credit, my first TV credit was from the Academy, and wow, my only wish is that I wish the Talent Factory could have more than like 12, 20 people a year. I wish it was 100 people a year. It's something that we all need. And it's really beautiful seeing it grow in the rest of Africa and parts like that. So
I think it's amazing, you know, and talking about our history together, you know, I'm so proud, and, you know, the same way you feel honored, I feel honored. Because it's, you know, a testament to what this program does, right? I mean, this year we both went onto that stage at the SAFTAs, and we both got awards.
We both got SAFTA awards, and it was my first one
for directing, and it's amazing, right?
Yeah.
Like from where we started, where I met you to sharing that stage, just shows you what this program can do for people, right?
Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's so cool. If you think about it like that,
it's crazy. It's like full circle.
Full circle, man. It's like there we are, sharing that stage, and it's amazing to share it with you. And, you know, from the beginning, you could already see that talent, and I could see that in you. And, you know, we haven't had the opportunity to work on anything, you know, but hopefully it will come around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To more trophies.
To more trophies. Did you bring
Did
you
I bring
bring
a trophy? No, I didn't. I'm shy. I'm shy. Did you bring all 7 of yours?
That's why I've got the bucky there.
Yeah, man. Damn, that was quite touchy. Should we move on before I cry?
Yeah.
Some people might not know because behind the scenes. I just want to do a quick track back of the shows that you worked on because we're talking about what shaped it. Like I was on Isibaya with you as an intern. I was on The Road. I was on Istunzi. I tried to crash Back of the Moon. Your other credits?
Well, for Istimbiso, we set up Gomorrah, but I don't know if that counts.
Red Ink.
Red Ink. Yeah, Red Ink was the recent one between the 2 seasons of Shaka. What else was there? This goes on.
Yeah, this goes on.
Yeah. It goes on before you're even born, like I shouldn't give away my age, man. I feel like old. But that's why to replace me.
The young kills the old.
There you go.
But we need the guidance of the old, and
and looking at that, like I'm in a situation where, Angus Gibson, right?
Yeah.
And he's been my mentor, and he's still pushing.
Yeah.
He's still there.
Yeah.
And I look at him as okay, that's the kind of person that I want to be, the kind of filmmaker that I want to be, the kind of legacy that I want to leave behind in terms of a filmmaker in South Africa.
Yeah.
And he's done that, and he's still forging ahead. So the same way, that you are the next generation of filmmakers, I want to be in his position, but then I want to have somebody like me, like you, in my position.
Yes.
And then have the next generation where you are right now. So,
well, you're already doing it because I feel very thankful that I crossed paths with you.
Yeah.
And thank you for also your grace and your heart to have a teaching spirit because, our work environment is very hectic, very fast-paced, very quick. The stakes are very high, especially dealing with high-stakes hit shows,
Yes.
And having just that time or that moment just to give feedback or to teach it's really great, and thank you for that.
No, thank you. I think it's important, right? It's important to give back. We don't get a lot of opportunity to do that. So when we have the opportunity to do things like this and to give back, I always try and take it. There is the pressure of having everybody wanting to work with you and wanting to learn from you, but not having the right opportunities or the right time to do it. And hopefully, I will be in a position one day where I can help more people.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it's really sad for me, and I've got this weight on me every time because I know there's so many people that reach out every single day.
I'm sure your DMs are full. Even my DMs are full.
You get it a lot, right? And you get so many requests from people to
just for a moment to see how you work.
And sometimes you can accommodate people and sometimes you can't, but the door's always open.
Yeah.
The door's always open.
That's also another thing that's great about the academy. So I was also the guy who's in people's DMs trying to get on set, asking Thembalethu Mfebe to be on set. And the factory placed me on those kinds of sets. So I was like, damn, when was I ever gonna be able to get a chance to sit down with you? So yeah,
that's one way to look at it and to push this more.
Yeah.
So people are more aware of it because that's what they should be doing, because we're not gonna be able to give them that opportunity on set every time, but this is it.
Yeah.
Look at you. Come on, man.
Look at us.
Look at us. SAFTA award winner, right? Yeah. Okay, looking at some of the shows you've directed, okay, like Outlaws, Young'uns, Adulting, the one thing that kind of jumps out to me about you is that you're very unconventional, right? What is your directing style?
My directing style, geez, that's a very big question, right? So we live in a country where long form or telenovelas are king, right? And I think my dream has always been to be a film director, right?
Yeah.
And in the film world, the director is king, and you can do whatever the hell you want, whatever process, and people want to see your style or technique shine through. And what I've learned, especially when you have to work in directing teams for the bigger shows, is that we have to tell the story first, you know?
Yeah.
And also, if another director comes in, it doesn't feel like a totally different story. So in terms of style, in a directing team, obviously the head director will set up the style, and then we fall in. It's almost like a F1 team. I always liken directing teams to F1 teams, right?
That's cool.
So there's a Constructors' Cup and then the individual Drivers' Cup. So obviously everybody wants to be number one.
Yeah.
But for us to win the championship, the bigger prize, we both need to be helping each other out to come out 1 and 2. But we won't even make the podium if we're competing against each other and we crash into each other, right? Then we don't even place anything. Nobody gets the individual medal. And we're definitely not winning the team game. Right? So in terms of that, there's a fine line of putting your mark on it and just letting the stories speak for itself, you know, letting the story speak for itself. And I've really been drawn to, I might seem quite daring because I'm really drawn to youth content, right? Because there's so much content out there already for our older audience, and I'm like, yo, damn. And I've been in those situations where I do direct stories where all of the actors and the crew are older than me. And then now I've gotten the opportunity to tell stories that are closer to my life. It feels a lot more authentic, right? So it's like, and I thought about this the other day, when Angus and Tebza did Yizo Yizo. They were around the same age I was when I was trying to, well, Angus has always been silver, but maybe but
Angus has always been silver.
I was around the same age I'm at doing Youngins, and they're like the generation under me, and being close to the content that you are shooting, right? As a millennial, I understand Gen Z better than the guys above me, and if I see, or even saw it on set when, you know, the parents act like parents and the kids are acting like kids, and I have to come in there like the first boy. I'm like, no, don't, let him be.
Just let him be,
So I've been very fortunate to be able to work on things that are closer to my life experience, and I can go fully in, and not to say that you can't do the other way around.
Exactly,
you know, Outlaws is a very mature show, and I have to do my research, and I have to be there, and I have to also lead a lot of people who are older than me, you know.
That's cool. Just a follow-up question to that. Do you think that we are pushing the envelope with, you know, with the content that we're producing?
I think right now, yes, definitely with Showmax and with streaming, because I think traditionally we kept on being safe and telling a certain story for a certain age demographic. I think it was a very big risk for MultiChoice to create shows like Youngins and Adulting for a youth market that has been thought of as uncharted territory, or usually is not a win. And I think we've all been vindicated with the fact that they've all been hits, you know. They've been taken up by the public, and we thought that there was a gap and it wouldn't work out, and now it seems like it's the stuff we all been wanting and waiting for, you know. Like I remember when I was still young and still trying to get into the industry, watching shows like Aye that you were on, and it was so groundbreaking, and it's taken such a long time up until now to get a show almost like Adulting to come out. So I feel like there is space for lots of different stories, not just in South Africa and in Africa. Like I think that's why even the West tried to come back to Africa, because we're so rich with story.
True that.
And I applaud MultiChoice bravery to let us go into that direction too.
There you go. Yeah, keep pushing. I mean, we had a brief conversation about this actually early on, right? And we spoke about how the audience expectations of shows these days. Yeah. And this question of are we pushing the envelope? Are we pushing it too far sometimes? Like, what is the expectations? And you know, if you look at Ayeye back then, we pushed the envelope, you know, with content, and it came out and it was kind of like well received, but it wasn't something for the mass market, if that makes sense, right?
Yes, it was very niche.
It was very niche. And do you know, with adulting, do you feel like you guys are pushing it further, or do you feel like the audience?
I think we are pushing a little bit further. You know, I existed in a time where there was nothing like that in the country, but you know, our audiences were already used to shows like Californication and a lot of other international shows that had that energy of fun and just being boys, even Entourage. So if you think about Aye till Adulting, we went through an era where we saw a lot more mature stories, and also we went through our era of women being on top, right? So our very strong female leads, the Queen, the River, Mumkabayo and Isibaya, and I think society in South Africa really needed that. We needed to see strong black women, right? And also, you know, with Tutakachu, we had just gone past cancel culture and everything. So it was a risk for a show like Adulting, which is very male-centric. There hasn't been a boys for boys show in a while. Yeah. And I think what made it palatable was the fact that it wasn't just boys being destructive. So one of my main things in my pitch for the treatment for Adulting was that we're trying to show toxic masculinity versus male vulnerability, right? Yeah. To create a discussion, because sometimes it feels like men are sidelined. Not all the time, you know, we all understand that we're living in a man's world, but on TV, men were being sidelined as if we don't have feelings. And as rock and roll as the show seems, at the core, we want to show the soft sides of men. And in terms of the one thing I think we really pushed from IA, and you guys had those moments of nudity, I think Adulting really pushed it even further, and ushering in a new era of like intimacy coordinators in our productions. And also, you know, it feels a lot very international, because we watch shows like Game of Thrones and all of that stuff that show these kinds of things. And I think in South Africa, it feels a little bit heavier, because it's the first time we are seeing Black South African bodies portraying these kinds of stories. Yeah. And I think we slowly need to get used to it, because we're so used to the international stuff, you know, and like it gets eaten up. So I'm happy we also have the opportunity to be able to tackle shows like these, because it's the shows we crave for too.
No, I agree with you. I mean, I do think, you know, if I look at it and I go, that is definitely the Adulting is the glossier, you know, iPhone 16 version of Ayeye, right? Yes. You know, Ayeye was like the iPhone, and you guys are the iPhone 16 of that content, you know?
Yeah, they always say the second rat gets the cheese.
Yeah, that's it. No, I like that, man.
So, working on shows like Isibaya and Shaka Ilembe, I just want to ask you what your take is on the importance of understanding South African cultures in setting the scene for local productions.
I think it's one of the most important things, right? We are representing, or we have the responsibility of representing the people.
Yes.
And understanding that culture and representing that culture in the right, correct way is so important. And we always go into these shows doing years of research before we even start shooting it, because we don't ever want to have a moment where people look at it and they go, we were not represented in the correct way.
Yes.
So it takes us years to do the research, to speak to the right people before we even put pen to paper. And I feel like going forward, that is what we need to keep doing, right?
Yeah.
Because it's something that we need to preserve. It's a culture and the people that and the language, everything that we need to preserve for the future generation. So
yeah, you're right. I mean, film and TV does serve a purpose for entertainment, but I feel like as filmmakers, like the medium, it's our job to reflect society. And what I love about the projects you work on, I keep thinking about if I had to watch these shows 20 years later, it feels like a preservation of culture too.
Yeah, exactly, you know? Right? Because people can always go back to it. They can show their kids, because where else can you take your kids right now and say, let's watch the history of Shaka told in the correct way, told in the right language, told by the right people and the skin color and everything, right? There's nothing like that. So it's about capturing that, putting it in a little capsule and going, hopefully people 20 years from now will still look at this and go, you can learn from that. It's not just for entertainment purposes. It's something captured in a history and a lesson that we can keep telling our kids, right? Yeah.
So for me, the advice I would give to a young talent factory graduate, or any young person aspiring to enter the industry, is be humble, just be a sponge, absorb as much as you can, but also learn the way things work so that you don't go against the system or slow down the system. You have to find your moments where you are seen and when you're not seen. But the most important thing is keep learning, keep dreaming, and never give up, Sometimes there are ups and downs, especially trying to climb the ladder where there is no work. But your breakthrough might just be 2 weeks after the moment where you thought this is enough, So my biggest advice is don't stop dreaming. And if you feel like doors aren't opening up for you, make your own doors. When I graduated in the academy, I thought I'd step into direct right away. I even asked Angus if I could come to set. I remember it was a time when you were told that you can bring in your new camera intern to come ascend, take the throne, Yes. And everybody said I was too young to direct. So I started my own production company. I became a producer. I employed myself to be a director. I did lots of Mzansi films, about 20. My first drama series that I worked on was my own company's one. And now that people can see I can direct a couple of shows, now people want to direct me, employ me as a director.
There you go.
So,
happen.
Don't give up.
Yeah. I think you said it all, like everything. I think I support you in everything that you said. For me, I'll say the same thing. Just stay humble, man. It's you can get lost in the titles. That makes sense. And people chase the title and they don't chase the passion. and you gotta chase the passion. That's what you need to aim for, and just keep pushing, because that's so important to keep pushing, right? I've been in the industry for almost 25 years, and I've done so many different shows, but it's only now that I feel like I'm finally achieving that dream.
Yeah.
And finally doing something that matters.
Yeah.
Although we've done so many other shows, I feel like after I've done Shaka, people are seeing me for who I am, right? But it only took me 20 years to get here.
Yeah.
So don't be in a hurry. You know,
And it's still not over, right?
It's not over.
You still have more mountains to climb.
I've got still more mountains to climb. So
But every fight counts.
Every fight counts, man. So it just shows you, you know, don't be in a rush to get there.
Yeah.
Things will happen, right? Here we are sitting together, but you've been in the industry for 10 years already. And it's like this, it's a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
And you'll get there, and then you sit with your mentor, and both of you have won like SAFTAs and doing
on the
this
same
and doing
night.
that.
Yeah.
And you're doing amazing work and you pushing it. And I'm like, cool, I can't wait to work on the next thing, and I hope I can do everybody proud and, you know, with my next project. So yeah, so that's what I'll say. Just stay humble, man. Keep pushing.
Yeah.
Don't let
Dreams come true.
All happens for a reason. Here we are.
Thank you.